And the question is about yoga. You know what's yoga? But the question doesn't speak of yoga. Perhaps I could show you some yoga poses if that was this one, but the question is very tricky. Does the Catholic Church prohibit or approve yoga? I said it's a very tricky question. First of all, what is yoga? Yoga is a set of exercises that help you to tone up the body, and especially the breathing exercises, and they are focused on certain points or perhaps certain physical attributes and the other inspirational figures. And yoga, since it comes from a Hindu tradition, is very much connected to the Hindu religion, religious aspect, and focus on the Hindu mythology, Hindu gods, Hindu realities. And surely, perhaps to say that the part of yoga is also part of our Hinduism. So perhaps the question is asked whether the church prohibits yoga in itself. I would put it this way. Perhaps we can see it from three aspects. Now, first of all, yoga that is connected to the religious aspect of Hindu, which means a certain focus on a god, goddess, and there are also certain forces that come out of it, and maybe we can even speak of the evil forces that are at work in the body, in the nature, of which perhaps the yoga is called to be an answer. And so we say this aspect of yoga that is connected particularly to Hindu religious aspects, perhaps it's not required of us. And I don't say it's forbidden as such, but then our Hindu brothers and sisters are very happy with it. We will also perhaps appreciate their stressing on yoga for these matters. The second way of looking at yoga is also a set of exercises that tone the body, and especially the breathing exercises that make you alive and fresh. And I think there are many people who perhaps may not associate yoga with religion as such, but would be happy to do all the exercises and be part of this sort of to keep yourself fit, and especially your breathing, which is very important for the body. I would consider is yoga without the religious aspect. The thirdly, there are some among us who say that can we not also speak of a Christian type of yoga or Christianize yoga as such? Because if yoga speaks of certain religious sentiments of the Hindu religion, can we substitute them and put our God or our principles in those places where we can meditate in a central manner on the Holy Trinity or perhaps certain aspect of Christianity, and in that way perhaps we can take up some yoga exercises. And many of our people who have taken up these say that yoga is gives us good sort of capacity to meditate, to concentrate, and therefore we can use Christian objects or Christian principles in order to perhaps Christianize yoga itself. We can't say that everything that comes from all the other religions is bad. We can take certain good elements from them. You know, the Vatican II in the document Gaudium et Spes Gaudium means the direction as such, the guidance, and Spes is the hope. So this document says that in every religion there are seeds of faith there. And therefore perhaps we could also take this. I give certain examples. For example, the rosary. You know, the rosary with the beads. I don't say that's only our religion. We see so many Buddhist monks and our rishis also holding what we call the beaded sort of garland, and they use it. So therefore we can't say the rosary is invented by us, and perhaps some say perhaps it may have come even before we could start using the rosary. There are also some other elements that perhaps we can, for example, there are certain words and certain themes that have been taken also from the others when we celebrate what we call the Deepavali, the festival of light. We say light is very important even for our religion. The light is the symbol of Christ, resurrected Christ and His light. Sunday. Sunday. If you break the word Sunday, it's a day of the sun. They say that even before our Sabbath could come, from the pagan history, from many, many years, I would say millions, thousands of years, this day was celebrated by the pagans as a day of the sun, because for them sun was the god. And now we also celebrate Sunday. We don't consider sun as the god, but we have taken the attribute, or perhaps the meaning of Sunday, the day of the Lord. For us, our Lord is much more than the sun and the sunlight. So therefore, the Sabbath, the day of the Sabbath, the day of the Lord, perhaps it has its roots a little in the pagan history or pagan philosophy. That does not mean that we become pagans by taking up certain things of theirs. So that's the meaning of yoga. I would say that yoga, taken in a good sense as your physical and your mental, rejuvenating yourself, perhaps with a little Christian concept or Christian model or Christian ideal, is nothing wrong. But to take and practice yoga as something that perhaps invigorates you or connects you with the mythological gods, with the Hindu realities, or perhaps certain forces, good and evil, that are there in you, this would be succumbing ourselves to perhaps not the good forces, but even the evil forces. So I am all for propagating yoga in a correct sense, especially with a Christian meaning. I thank you, and I wish you a good Sunday, a good weekend with your family.